Something really profound is happening to the identity of America right now. It's a shift that's happening faster and honestly more dramatically than almost anywhere else on the planet. So let's dive into the data behind this tectonic change in America's religious landscape. It all really starts with this one number, 17. What's 17? Well, that's the massive percentage point drop in Americans who say religion is an important part of their daily lives. And get this, that drop has happened in just over a decade. And the real kicker here isn't just the drop itself, it's the speed. I mean, think about it. In 2015, two-thirds of Americans considered religion a core part of their day. Today, that number's fallen below half. This isn't some slow generational drift we're talking about. This is a rapid, full-blown transformation. And it's not just us saying it. Even the Gallup researchers who compiled all this data are highlighting just how unusual this is. When the experts themselves flag a trend as rare, you know something really significant is going on. Okay, so we've established that the drop is big and it's fast, but how does it stack up on a global scale? That's what we're going to look at next, to really put this American story into a world context. Just let this sink in for a second. Out of more than 160 countries that Gallup keeps tabs on, only a tiny handful, just 14, have seen a decline this big in just over a decade. The United States is now a member of a very exclusive and very rapidly secularizing club. Now, the US isn't totally alone in this. A few other wealthy nations, we're talking places like Greece, Italy, and Poland, have actually seen even bigger drops. But the American decline is right up there with them, which is just a massive shift for a country that was once seen as exceptionally devout, especially compared to its peers. This chart right here just perfectly illustrates America's new kind of unique position. So the global median, that bar on the left, shows a staggering 83% of people worldwide say religion is important. But then you look at the OECD countries, that's America's wealthy economic peers, and that number plummets to just 36%. And the US, at 49%, it's caught right in the middle. It's way less religious than the rest of the world, but still way more devout than its closest allies. So because of this unique spot on the graph, it means the US doesn't really fit into the neat categories that it used to. It's become a new kind of outlier on the world stage. Typically, countries fall into one of four buckets, right? You're either highly religious or not very religious, and you tend to identify with a specific faith or none at all. It's pretty straightforward. But look at the US now. It just breaks the whole model. It has this strange combination of middling religiosity, but a still pretty high Christian identity. It just doesn't fit the pattern anymore. And Gallup summarizes this perfectly. This quote really captures the core tension of modern American identity. The country is sort of caught between two worlds, the deeply faithful global community on one side and the highly secularized Western one on the other. But look, this isn't just some abstract data exercise for political scientists. This shift has profound real-world consequences, with tangible impacts happening right now, on the ground. Just look at this number, 15,000. It's a stark figure, and it represents a very, very real outcome of this whole trend. So what is 15,000? That is the estimated number of church buildings, places of communities, social hubs, local landmarks that are predicted to close their doors this year alone. This is a physical reshaping of the American landscape. And we see this reshaping in how people identify too. Sure, 62% still identify as Christian, but that number is way down from 78% back in 2007. The real story here is the explosion of the religiously unaffiliated, who now make up nearly a third of the population. I mean, that is a fundamental change in how Americans see themselves. And yet, this decline doesn't mean religion is just disappearing from public life. Far from it. Faith communities are still an incredibly powerful force in politics. But the momentum, that's clear. Demographic trends show young people, and especially Gen Z women, are leading this exodus from organized religion. And that raises huge questions about the future of everything from community social ties to how philanthropy works. So all of this data is pointing to a nation in the middle of a massive, massive transformation. So I guess the final question is, where does all this lead? Let's just be really clear about what we're describing here. This isn't just some polling trend that will reverse next year. It is a cultural shift. a deep, fundamental change in the shared values and the core identity of a nation that was, for most of its history, really defined by its faith. And that leaves us with this final, critical question. For centuries, religion was a central pillar of the American identity. So as that pillar shrinks, what's going to fill the void? What values, what beliefs, or what institutions will come to define the nation in the 21st century? That's really the big unanswered question at the heart of this historic shift.